All right, welcome back to the Started From Zero podcast, where we help people and we talk to people who are building it from the ground up. And that's the whole name of the game. We don't want to talk to people who are born into wealth and had all these connections and resources. We want to talk to people who actually are building their own brand, their own business from the ground up. And today I'm with Mark Smeltzer, who I've worked with many times on many different projects. Thanks so much for doing this, Mark.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So tell me, all right, what is it like to build your own brand from the ground up? And maybe tell me a little bit about your story of what you do and how you do it.
Building from the ground up is enjoyable, to say the least, because you have so many different obstacles. You have to study so many different things. You have to pick a thing to begin with. There's so many things in this life that you could do. You can do anything that you want to do in life, but you can't do everything. So you gotta pick something that you're really good at and go for it. For me, I really, truly enjoy entertaining people, making people feel, making people laugh, making them cry, making them want to be happy, to be entertained. And that's why I chose acting in general. So getting started with that answers your first question. What was your second question again?
And basically, what do you do and how do you do it? The problem that you solve, I know, is really voiceovers and getting people to look and sound professional on video and different advertisements. So what exactly do you do for people? How do you do it? And what got you into it?
Yeah. People come to me. They say, hey, I need a commercial, or hey, I need some voiceover for this, or hey, I need some voiceover for that. Whether it be, let's see, I'm going down to Los Angeles next month to do some voiceover for a film that's coming out. I think it's a slasher film actually, and coming out in around the Halloween time. So that'll be actually my first feature film work. But I've done some commercial work. I've done some video game work. People come to me and say, hey, I'm looking for this type of voice. If I can do it, great. And if I can't do it, then I'll just let them know, or I'll audition for it. I do it because, like I said earlier, I like people. I like to entertain. I like people feeling when they listen to either my work or the work that I collaborate with.
Well, to be honest with you, Mark, we worked on a bunch of projects together already. I don't see a lot of voiceover experts out there. Maybe there are some. It just doesn't seem like they're as vocal, pun intended, as you on social media. So is that what you're seeing? Is that a problem that you saw and you're like, hey, I can fix that?
Well, I think it is your right to be able to speak your mind. You can hate ideas, but you shouldn't hate people for the ideas. I think that definitely calling out some stupid shit in this world and people not questioning enough, and when they see certain things in life, they need to say, is this real? Instead of just saying, oh, I'm going to post this because it makes me feel better. So it's tough because there are great things going on in the world, and there actually are a lot of voiceover experts and people that are helping other people in voiceover. Like, for example, Dave Fennoy was my coach. I hired him to teach me some ins and outs of the business last year, and I'll probably do some more follow-up lessons as well. But there are just so many aspects that people need if they want to know. I mean, almost anything you can find online, and that's how I started mine. I started looking online. I started searching for little tidbits here and there, stuff that got me interested in the business, and then I just kept going from there.
And for the listeners out there, Mark Smeltzer did the audiobook for my second book, Attractive Storytelling. He's done audiobooks for many of our clients. And it's awesome to work with you because you're so fast at turning around things. And I think that's the biggest problem out there with people who are starting a business. They think they have the luxury of their name brand is so big that even if you don't get back to them in a week or two, they're okay with it. You understand?
No.
You understand?
Yeah, 24 hours. You got to be connected with them as quick as you can. I mean, time is of the essence. Doesn't matter if they've got $1 million or if they've got a couple $100 or whatever. You have to be responsive for those people because people are people. They like having their shit finished quickly and efficiently.
Exactly. And that means a lot. You're very, very good at communication whenever you start the project all the way to the finish. And I think that's a great lesson for anybody who is building it from the ground up. Really, really important to get back to people, stay in touch with them. But anyway,
absolutely.
Just to kind of close this off here, you've worked with some bigger names. There are people out there. One of the things with this podcast, I want to highlight the bullshitters out there. Who's real about starting from zero? Who's real about, did they really, really start their business or grow their business, and who's not? So who are some of the people maybe you've worked with, maybe you've hired as coaches, maybe you've seen at different events? We both were at 10X this year. Name some people that you think are the real deal out there that you recommend for other people to check out.
So it depends. I mean, just because somebody has access to $1 million loan does not mean that they're not the real deal. I mean, maybe they truly are. Maybe that's that small boost. I know I'd use the term small because, in some people's eyes, once you get to that status, $1 million is not a lot of cash. At the beginning, exactly. It's a shit ton. So, that numerical, that measurement that we've all heard, shit ton. So, but let's be real here though. There's no such thing as self-made. I think that's the stupidest term I've ever heard in my life because nobody is self-made.
Self-made is, I have a team of writers and marketers. I can't make this on my own. Self-made is not a great term.
Who does anybody work for you? Perfect. That answers that. It's not self-made. You hired them.
Yeah.
Were you born? Perfect. That's not made. That's not self-made. That's made. You started out as made.
I hate that phrase, self-made. Nobody is. But
it's a terrible term. Terrible term.
And I think that's another thing we're kind of like ciphering through on this podcast is people. I don't like seeing. This is what I saw a lot of people who really have a lot of resources, teaching people how to get those resources whenever they really never acquired them themselves.
See, that's different. That's different. Teaching people to get resources. You can still become a started from zero person with the help of other people, with the resources of other people. However, it's just when you say started from zero, correct me if I'm wrong, you think that, started from zero, everybody starts from zero because, of course, that you're born. Everybody starts from zero. So literally, everybody started from zero. No matter who you ask, in a technical sense. So I guess take it a step further when you say, for me, let's say here's an example. Somebody who is 18 or 15 or 13 or even a kid actor, they want to get into acting. What do? They have to go auditions. They take lessons. They have to focus on their craft. So you at some point start from zero in a particular area of your quote unquote expertise.
Yeah. Good way to look at that.
And so I guess for me, it was a year and a half ago. I just told myself one day, I said, I am going to be a voice actor and I want to be in movies. I've always wanted to be in film ever since I was a kid. Always. And this year is actually finally coming true. I'm going to be an extra in a film. That's going to continue to just keep going and going and going. If I continue to build my portfolio, my resume, my demo reels, all this stuff will accumulate, but I started it at one particular point. So I did start from zero, with or without the help of other people.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I look at some of the big names out there. There are people to me who truly did. There's a difference in my eyes. And I look at Grant Cardone and people like him who really did build their own brand from the ground up. Like nobody said, hey, Grant, here's a sales business. It's already half built. Go build it. So there's a difference.
Oh, yeah. So he started from zero, but $3,000 with the help from his mother. Otherwise, if he didn't get that $3,000, he would not be who he was today because of that small boost. He still started from zero, though.
Yeah. So I look at him as he built his own thing from the ground up, and I really, really respect that. So you worked with Hank Norman. Hank Norman's a great guy when it comes to the marketing world. Is he the real deal?
Oh, absolutely. I think that he and I are fairly similar as far as, mind as the way that we kind of think, I suppose. That's what really drew me to him in the first place. And so I paid him this year to teach me certain areas in the things that I was lacking in. And so we throw ideas back and – sorry, go ahead.
What were you lacking in, Mark?
Oh, just finesse. I was not focused when I was on camera or in front of people or or really just when people ask me a certain question, I would kind of continue just to go off in tangent, and I would have to be brought back to the question. Whereas instead I would shut up now and I'd say, what was your question again? So
I hear you.
He is the media, the marketing dude. He created Grant Cardone in a sense as far as the big media style goes. He created Mel Robbins. He created Steve Harvey. These are people that are pretty freaking well known, and he helped create those people because he knows how to get a certain spot of you out into the world from using your pain, creating the power with it, and then continue going from there and helping other people in the process. And I think that's what also drew me to him was he was affordable, he has a good track record, and he started from zero, I guess.
Beautiful, beautiful. I joined the Star Power a long time ago. I watched a couple of his videos. Really, really great stuff. I don't know him too much as a person, but it seems like you worked with him and you got a lot of great stuff from him. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to probably work on a couple things here in the future as well.
But anybody else that you can recommend for anybody out there who is building it from the ground up? Now, like I said, it's a certain market that we're reaching as people who don't know where to begin, and we're looking for the people who are struggling to get started. That's it.
I suppose you can ask yourself, I would like to question, for example, question everything. My idol is George Carlin. He's the guy that he knows his shit. So question everything. It's a matter about, kids are going to learn to read, who want to learn to read are going to learn to read. So it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of learning through questions. So for example, a great question would be, who are the experts in the field that I'm going to enter? For example, if I want to become a biologist, who are some of the experts? Richard Dawkins, Charles Darwin. These are guys that you start to follow to figure out why they became who they are, what they've done for the biology world. You can do another one, a physicist or astrophysicist, Neil deGrasse Tyson, or just scientists in general. You could do even Bill Nye. Bill Nye probably started from zero. Just some Seattle dude from UW that created an awesome TV show later on, and to this day, he's still one of the big names in science because that's how you solve things, is you question things. So who's a big expert in my field, whatever field you have, and question who's the best, where are the people that I want to be, and then study those people.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, that's Bill Nye. I think there's a really unique story behind him. I believe whenever he first had a TV show, he wasn't even a scientist considered. He wasn't even didn't have a doctorate. He was just a great marketer. So it's fantastic to see people. But over time, he becomes really, really well known. And that's the whole thing that Grant always says: get well known, otherwise you're not going to get anywhere.
Oh yeah. Get known or no money. Gotta pay the bills, son.
Awesome stuff. Mark, I know that we try to keep these to 10 minutes to 15 minutes max.
I'll tell you, before I go, you have to find yourself somebody who cares for you, somebody who's rooting for you, and for me, that is my girlfriend. I know that, she may not be the best way of putting it, I shall say, but she does it out of love, and she helps me, and she makes me strive for becoming a better person in the process.
Entrepreneurship, anybody out there who's building a business or starting to, it is one of the loneliest gigs. And
oh my God.
Because you are
fucking horrible.
it's all you. And especially in the very beginning, I think that's another big difference for those people who really are starting with zero money. Because the people who have a lot of money can hire people and you have a team overnight. But so if you're building it from the ground up, you are going to be so lonely in the very beginning because you don't know who to turn to. Your friends are out there having a good time. You're doing everything. You're doing customer service. You're doing the actual work itself. You're doing sales. You're doing marketing. And it's a very, very different type of industry compared to a lot of
I'll tell you this, man. I agree with that. And Kylie Jenner did not start from zero. I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't give a fuck who you think you are. She did not start from zero. If you look at her background, Donald Trump, that's tough. Sure, he got $1 million loan from his dad, but he might have started from zero.
No,
some people could argue that he probably did. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. You'll never know. But Kylie Jenner, definitely did not start from zero.
Well, that's the thing is, and I want to really highlight this, that there are people out there, there are little girls out there saying, I want to start a business just like Kylie. She can't teach you how to start a business. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. She can't teach you. And I only want these people who are listening to podcasts to learn from people who are actually starting from where they started. And that's the big difference.
Absolutely.
So that's it, man. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. Anybody out there looking for voiceover work, go talk to Mark. He does awesome stuff. It's very inexpensive for, your budget, and he also does incredible work, fast turnarounds. Get to know this guy. Mark?
Yeah, I want to help the people who are starting from zero, who are losing some dough. They say, hey, can you help me out? Yes, I can. Let's work something out. Let's get your business started.
Love it, man. Well, thank you so much, guys. If you are out there and you are building your brand from the ground up, you want to make a little extra money, go to istartedfromzero.com. Get started. Buy a hat, buy a shirt, become a partner. You can start making money in your sleep as you build your own brand. Don't get those bullshit jobs like I had to. And so you can actually focus on your brand like what Mark Smeltzer's doing, what other people are doing. We're going to be bringing a lot to you. So thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. See you, Mark.
Hey, thank you, bud.
Bye-bye.